The contents of the following program are not intended to substitute for the advice of your healthcare provider, and the producers of this series assume no liability for the use or misuse of the material presented. Creation or evolution, design or random chance. They say it all began with a Big Bang. But when we look at the amazing human body, the answer is obvious. The complexity of the design exceeds anything man has ever made. The body could only have been designed by the master designer we read about in the Bible. Join us as we explore the miraculous development of the human baby. Divine design.
Hello, I'm Patty Barnes, the Director of the Midwifery Program at Heartland College. I'd like to share with you a few of the common complaints expectant mothers have during pregnancy. By the way, when we use the word complaints here, we should understand that we aren't talking about murmuring and complaining. We're just using the medical sense of the word. In other words, physical discomforts. In the devotional book, Reflecting Christ, page 165, we read,
Man is God's workmanship, His masterpiece, created for a high and holy purpose, and on every part of the human tabernacle, God desires to write His law.
What a wonderful thought. The human tabernacle is the body of the flesh we inhabit, and Jesus wants to inhabit it with us and write His law on every part. As a great apostle Paul said, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Pain can be a tool in the hand of God to help bring us closer to Christ and make us stronger. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, Paul wrote,
And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me.
As you know, God's original plan for bearing children didn't include the pain and sorrow that resulted from the fall. But be of good courage. Our Creator is all-wise and knows that even though we might not recognize it, our pains and discomforts have a divine purpose and are designed to work for us, not against us. In our weakness, we are directed to look up to Him who is able to help us. Let us look at a few of the complaints of pregnant women. Nausea at the beginning of pregnancy is often referred to as morning sickness. This is one of the first signs of pregnancy and usually occurs during the first trimester, usually occurring right around the 7th week. The good news is that in the vast majority of cases, there is no threat or danger to either the mother or the baby. There are some rare cases, however, when continuous vomiting may require hospitalization. This extreme condition is called hyperemesis gravidarum. In such cases, it is essential to have the electrolytes restored and the vomiting brought under control. Morning sickness is really a misnomer, for it's neither a sickness nor is it restricted to the morning, although it may be experienced more in the morning. It's brought on by rapid hormonal changes that take place in the mother during the early stages of pregnancy. It's normal, and the silver lining around this is that, generally speaking, miscarriages are less likely if the mother is experiencing nausea. By the way, if you're carrying twins, the nausea probably will be a little worse. But take heart, the nausea usually subsides around the 13th week, which is the end of the first trimester. There are some comfort measures that can be taken to alleviate the symptoms of nausea. A good, well-rounded diet of wholesome foods will help. Avoid fatty foods, and especially fried foods. Foods that are easily digested should be the diet of choice. It's also important to stay well hydrated. Drink copious amounts of water. You're going to need extra while you are pregnant and if you are vomiting. You'll need to replace those lost fluids. Ginger is often helpful in alleviating nausea, but don't overdo it. Ginger can have a tendency to thin your blood. Peppermint tea may also be effective in reducing nausea. Open the windows to fresh air. And finally, avoid fumes and disagreeable odors, because during pregnancy you will find you're more sensitive to smells. But look at the bright side. This heightened sense of smell will cause you to avoid smoke and fumes that could be harmful to both you and your baby. Now next, let's talk about heartburn or indigestion. There's an old wise tale that says that heartburn is an indication that the baby will have a lot of hair. Of course, this isn't true. There's actually a burning sensation in the esophagus that may be caused by the relaxing effect of progesterone on the cardiac sphincter of the stomach, which allows for stomach acid to back up into the esophagus. As the uterus grows, it pushes up against the stomach, which may also contribute to this acid backup. So what are some things you can do to help relieve the situation? Not drinking with your meals will help so that you can more easily digest your food and prevent some of that acid reflux. Avoid fried and spicy foods and stick with those easily digested and nutritious items. It is also recommended that you not lie down right after eating, but take a walk instead. While in bed, lie on your left side, because lying on the right side places the esophagus below the stomach. You may find it helpful to prop yourself up a little when you go to bed. Don't eat late in the evening. Allow time for digestion before retiring. Now let's talk about frequent urination. The need to urinate often occurs during the first trimester due to pressure on the bladder because the uterus is low. As the uterus grows, it also rises, taking pressure off the bladder. Near the end of pregnancy, as the baby descends into the pelvis, direct pressure is once again exerted on the bladder, and frequent urination occurs again. The problem is that you need to drink lots of water, so please don't dehydrate yourself in an attempt to ward off this urge to urinate. But what you can do is stop drinking a couple hours before bedtime to help prevent nocturia. You should also avoid beverages that have a diuretic effect like coffee and tea, and of course alcohol. All right, let's talk about back pain in pregnancy. Now, back pain is common and understandably so. You're gaining weight and your posture is naturally changing, putting a little more strain on your back muscles. Try to keep your posture straight and avoid standing for prolonged periods. It will also be helpful if you remember to bend at the knees when you need to bend over rather than bending at the waist. Comfortable low-heeled shoes rather than high heels will also help take the strain off the back. When in bed, tucking a pillow under your abdomen, behind your back, and between your knees may offer some support and comfort. Hydrotherapy is also an excellent way to bring relief. This can be done with warm towels applied to the back, or a more convenient way is simply using a hot water bottle. The heat will relax the back muscles, but just remember to not get it too hot, which might burn the skin. Another common discomfort that shows up mainly in the second trimester as the uterus is growing is what is called round ligament pain. These are the ligaments that hold up the uterus in place. As they are being stretched, you may feel a sharp pain in the lower abdomen on either side and down the legs. Some things you might try to alleviate these pains are rising from a sitting position slowly, bending toward the pain, which will ease the strain on the ligaments. Avoid twisting motions. Try walking. And if the ligaments feel like they are in a spasm, massaging may bring relief by relaxing that area. If the pain is intense, You may want to check with your healthcare provider to rule out appendicitis or any other serious condition. Next, let's talk about varicose veins. These are swollen, knotted veins, mostly appearing in the legs, but may occur elsewhere. This is caused by increased pressure in the veins due to the growing weight of the abdomen. In addition, hormones are softening the vein walls. As the veins swell, they can lead to aching and throbbing. Here are a few recommendations to relieve varicosities. Avoid standing for long periods. Prop your legs up when sitting. Avoid crossing your legs, which will only hinder circulation. Walking regular will encourage better blood flow and relieve pressure. Avoid constriction caused by tight bands. Some doctors recommend support hose as long as they're not too tight. Wear comfortable shoes and avoid excessive weight gain. The last one we'll have time to discuss is that of fatigue. Fatigue is caused by several factors. First of all, much of your body's energy is being invested in the development of the baby support system. The placenta is under construction and will tax your nutrient supply. You have hormonal fluctuations taking place that will affect your emotions and cause mood swings, which also contribute to fatigue. You're also having to bear more and more weight as the baby grows. Discomforts may lead to some irregular sleep, and we all know that pain can be tiring. One thing you want to be sure to have checked is your iron level. Low iron can lead to fatigue, and your body is naturally going to require more iron as your baby grows. Other things you can do include maintaining a regular schedule, taking a nap during the day if necessary, exercising, although you might think that leads to more fatigue, will actually build you up so that you have more stamina. We are talking about simple exercise like walking outdoors in the sunshine. Again, drink plenty of water. As Dr. Thrash used to say, it can perk you up like a wilting flower. Avoid stimulants like coffee and tea. They will only pick you up to let you down even more. And the same goes for sugary snacks. Give yourself daily to Jesus and claim the promise.
He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint.
Walk with God, oh, calm and heavenly frame, a light to shine upon the road that leads me to the Lamb. Return, O holy dove, return, sweet messenger of rest. I hate the sins that made thee mourn and drove thee from my breast.
Join me next time for more of Divine Design.
But